A Lull in the Sea got to be one of the worst animes I have ever watched in my entire life. Matter of fact, let me rephrase that. A Lull in the Sea has to be the worst romance anime I have ever seen. Like, oh my god. Like, it had me invested in the first 13 episodes, which, you'll classify the season 1, Some animes, only have 13 episodes, so that classifies as season 1. And it had me invested then, Like Monica, we got Monica, Hikari, Chisaki, Kaname, Kira, Muna, Akari, Siyu. We got a bunch of characters in this anime, bro. And the ones I want to talk about is Monica, Hikari, Kira, and I forgot what her name is. Did I say her name? Chisaki? Yeah, Chisaki. Chasaki. I can't really say these names correctly, but that's not the point. The problem I have with this is this love square, right? Like, I knew if Monica, because remember in the first episode, everybody thought Monica was going to get with Kira, all right? Because she was fished out from the water on accident by him, and then they had that spark in their eyes that looked like, they might have a relationship in the future, and that's, that kind of, I was like, that's kind of interesting. And now you got Hikari, he's like, he's jealous of Kira, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, it's a love triangle, and then you find out Chisaki, she likes Hikari, and I'm like, it's getting juicy. And you got Kaname, that fifth guy in the group, he likes Chisaki. I'm like, wow, somebody's about to get left out in this relationship thing. Like, if Monica doesn't go with Kira, she's gonna get with Hikari, and if Chisaki doesn't get with Hikari, she's gonna get with Kira. That's what I assumed after a couple episodes. I'm like, this love triangle square is gonna happen. And Kaname, I don't know who he's gonna end up with. And I was invested for the 13 episodes, because I stopped at the episode like 17 and just like read the rest of the manga, because I did not want to see the rest of this show animated, because of how irritated I got. Like, I was so interested. Monica was really trying to get closer to, Kira. In the first season, she was really trying. And, Hikari, he was trying, he started out annoying. Like, he was annoying. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, how you gonna like a girl, but you treat her like straight dog shit? Like, how crazy that is? But, I was annoyed. But, over time in that first season, he started maturing a little bit. Him and Kira started getting along, and Chisaki confessed to Kira that she liked Hikari, which we all knew. And Monica, just so happened to be there and find out. And she didn't she felt bad, because since Hikari likes Monica, she felt bad that she's ruined the chance for Chisaki. That I'm like, that kind of makes sense. It's laying down the groundwork for either one of these couples to hit each other up. Like, I was prepared for this. But what killed me? What made me hate this anime so much? It's not the first season. It was the ending of the first season going into the second season, depending on what you're watching. Because Funimation, it might be 2 seasons, or Amazon is something, or Verve is just 1 season. But that's not the point. What irritated me was the ending of season 1. Remember when they were all getting swept by the water, because the ocean people were going into hibernation and all that stuff? That was an interesting plot line. Like, I really wanted to know how it was going to end. Like, I was so invested in this anime. Sorry, I had to calm down real quick. Monica died. I'm gonna keep that a $1.50 with you. Monica died. Like, I know that she died. But before that part, Monica talks to Kira, because remember Kaname, because he was salty because he confessed his love to Chisaki, and she said, no, I like Hikari. He kind of felt salty, and so he forced Hikari to confess to Monica. And I didn't know how Monica really felt, because remember when Hikari was trying to comfort Monica, but she pushed him away? I was confused, because I'm like, maybe she wanted Kira to be the one to hold her, or something like that. Like, that's what you assume. because you know Kira never showed any signs that he really liked Monica like that. But you know that's not the point. But Hickory confessed. Monica, you know, she runs away. Hickory goes chasing after her. Chisaki, she doesn't really want Hickory to chase after Monica, but she wants him to chase after Monica. Like, she's contradicting herself. Like, she don't want Monica to feel some type of way, but she also doesn't want Hickory to focus all his attention on Monica. And you know, Chisaki, you know, she finally confessed to Hickory, and Hickory like, no, you know, I like Monica. And we still don't know how Monica really feels, right? Because you know she's been crushing on Kira this entire first season. But what made me start realizing that Monica's starting to like Hickory a little bit was, remember when he started raising that big ass flag? He's like, oh, when did Hickory become a man? And I'm like, whoa, like, whoa, you changed the whole thing. But what made sense of what Monica's answer was, when she told Kira, like, he's like the sun. Like, you know, in the ocean they couldn't really come up to the surface, and he's like the sun, something so far away which she longs for. But Hickory to her is like the ocean, who's always been with her and whom she loves. So that, to be honest, I'm not even mad about that answer, because I knew that in case she didn't go with Kira, she would have got with Hickory, and Kira would have got with Chisaki. Because remember, when Monica died, okay, let's keep it a buck, she died because last time I checked, she landed back first into the ground, alright, before the water even hit on top of her. Okay, let's get, like, I cannot stress it enough that she died, alright, she died in the anime. And Chisaki, when Kira got swept into the water, she went to go save him, and Kaname helped her out because they were both getting drowned under. And even though I found out later that Kaname really wishes that he didn't save Kira because he knew that Chisaki was starting to like Kira, he still saved her regardless. Saved him regardless. And you know, Chisaki's calling Kira because Kira's unconscious and she's crying and stuff. And I'm like, yo, this is interesting. Monica died, and Hickory, you know, he's drowning because he's trying to save his sister, and his sister somehow lives. Akari, you know, Akari, she's somehow lived. And I didn't know what happened to Hickory because they did that time skip, and I assumed that he was going to be in the time skip too, because he didn't show any signs that he was dragged underwater. He just like floated up with the tornado or something. Like, that's what I saw. So I assumed that he was alive. And Kaname, I assumed that he died because he got hit by a pillar. Like, oh my god, I cannot stress how this anime has been avoiding death when people really should be dead, like Monica and Kaname. But okay. Time skip. Kira is with Chisaki. You know, and Chisaki really felt bad about the past, that they're still alive. I mean, she's the only one, you know, out of the group, you know, out of the ocean group, is that still alive with Kira, because, you know, Kira is part of the surface. And I found it interesting, right? And Kira, he's really into, I forgot what he was doing because I watched this like 2 months ago. Kira is really into whatever he's doing, and he ends up finding Hickory again. And Hickory had not grown at all. Hickory had not grown up from any size from the age that he was, and to him, everything that happened was yesterday. Well, it was like 5 years ago to Kira and Chisaki. See, the problem why I say this was a horrible romance is how they went about everybody getting together, right? Because Monica, even though she somehow survived, she comes back with no memory. I mean, I think she came back, I don't know, because I stopped watching, but I read the manga, and she said she didn't have any emotions like love and stuff like that. And Hickory, you know, she confessed, Monica confessed to that slug thing, just her true confessions and stuff. And Hickory was trying to find get her to love, find her love, because he's under the assumption that she loves Kira, because he doesn't know about the confession that she did to Kira. And Chisaki thinks Monica like Kira. You know, it was just a mess, because Kaname ends up getting with Sayu. And Sayu is one, remember, Sayu and Muna were those two kids in the beginning of the anime. You know, they were troublemakers, and now they're 14 years old, which was the group's age in the beginning of the anime. Kaname gets with Siyu because, you know, convenience. Because Siyu was in love with Kaname when she was young, so now they're the same age because his age just stopped. You know, convenience. Like, it was just convenient. Shizuki finally gets rid of the passive Hikari, and she gets with Kira after he has to do a bunch of shit just to get with her. Monica gets with Hikari, and that was the end of the anime. Like, I'm like, to you, you might be like, Malik, that does not sound like a bad anime, but bro, if you watch it and like you think of it as like a typical, not a typical romance, but you know, one of those romance animes, you know, that has a bunch of people loving each, somebody loves this person and somebody's going to get left out. It's like Kniver, when somebody loved this person loved that person, this person like that. It was a mess. And you just, you know, and everybody got with each other. Everybody got a partner because of convenience. Because Kaname and Monica should be dead. Hikari, I don't know, because, you know, he was just swept away. Like, him hibernating, that makes sense. But Monica and Kaname should be dead. I just can't stress it enough how much I got irritated watching this anime because of stuff like that. But the first half, like the first season, I loved it. Like, I loved it. It was interesting. It was hard. Like, my heart, bro, it was pounding at every word, you know, they were saying, you know, they're trying to figure out how they want to confess, you know, stuff like that. Like, at the time, I was thinking that Love in the Sea reminded me of Toradora, Lovely Complex, Mysterious Girlfriend, you know, just stuff like that. You know, people falling in love, like true love story. And then they pull shit out their ass. It turned into Darling in the Franxx. Alright? Remember I said Darling in the Franxx episode 1 through 15 was great. But after episode 15, that shit tanked. And that's exactly what A Lull in the Sea was like. I hope you guys like and subscribe to my channel. And get ready for the next video. Malik on Fleek 3.0 out.